Welcome to the Coach Zing Show, helping you work less, earn more, and reach more people through creative content marketing. Join the Coach Zingers community, where the world's best coaches, therapists, authors, and speakers come together to discover the latest trends, forge powerful joint ventures, and grow their business together. Go to coachzing.com/community to join. And now, here's your host, Doug Foresta.
Hello, welcome back to the Coach Zing Show. This is your host, Doug Foresta. This is a show we help you, coaches, therapists, speakers, and authors to work less, earn more, and help more people through creative content marketing. And my guest today is Luke Iorio from iPEC. Many of you may be familiar with iPEC. I'll say a little bit about iPEC, and I'll say a little bit about Luke, and I'll bring him right on. I know you'll get a lot out of this episode. Luke has a lot of really great experience and also just worked with many coaches. And I know that if you're a coach or consultant and you're listening to this, you're really going to get a lot out of it. I want to remind you as well that if you're looking for a transcript of this episode or any episode, go ahead and visit coachzing.com/community. That's coachzing.com/community. So first, for those of you that are not familiar with iPEC, the business of iPEC is focused on being innovators in the field of human potential. They're focused on helping people become more conscious, confident, empowered, and engaged version of themselves. And they do this through training coaches, leaders, educators, and wellness professionals on their core dynamics methodology that removes all the beliefs, blocks, and patterns that hold a person back from fully using and expanding their potential. And you can also go to ipeccoaching.com. That's IPECCOACHING.com. And I'll put that link on the show page. And I'll say a bit about Luke as well and bring him right on. Luke Iorio, in his 10 years at iPEC, initially running business, then operations, then becoming its CEO 5 years ago, has helped it grow from 5 locations to 17, 1 division to 5, and seen its total graduate community grow to over 11,000 across 44 countries. And if you ask him what he's most proud of regarding iPEC's success, he'll tell you it's the people. That is the people that make up the culture, that make them a top company to work for in New Jersey, and that students rave about. Ask him personally, and he'll praise his 2 smiling kids, his exceptionally supportive wife who puts up with his entrepreneurial energy and tells you to be proactive in keeping your mind, body, and soul well, because that's what gives you the vitality to live life on fire. Luke Iorio, thank you for joining me.
Doug, thanks for having me here, man. Enjoying it.
Thank you. So, I'll start with the first question about, I'm going to ask you this way. What if you have any favorite methods for listeners right now who are coaches who are trying to get their business up and going, what ways would you suggest for them to get the word out about what they do to the people that most need to hear it?
Yeah, I look at this from a couple of different ways. We've followed a lot of different content strategies through the years, but for new coaches and those that are looking to get up and running, I look at a few things. Number one is, especially from the social media standpoint, you don't have to create all of your own content. Curating content that is related to your niche, your specialization, already starts to make you a valued resource, somebody that they can count on, who's knowledgeable in the arena. But then spin it. Add your own extra tip, your own take on what's out there. But it takes a little bit of the pressure off from needing to create all the content from square one. Now the other side of it is that I'm also a very big fan of things like podcasting. I used to have an interview show myself a couple of years ago. I'm actually in the midst of relaunching a new one because I very firmly believe in podcasting, and I see how much it's on the uptick over the course of the next year, and it's a great way for people to get to know your personality as a coach.
Can you say more about – I'm curious to hear more about 2 things. First one is, can you say more for people that about curation, about what do you mean by curation?
Yeah, with one of the things that is kind of the beauty of social media, between Twitter and Facebook and all the different blog feeds and other types of podcast feeds and everything else out there, you've got the ability to have all this incredible content from the people you enjoy following that are very highly regarded, maybe from different magazines or journals or blog outlets that you follow. You've got the ability to have that delivered right into your inbox or right into your social media feed, so you can see what's going on in your industry. You don't need to repost everything, but pick out the things that speak specifically to you and your audience, that you've got some passion and energy around and maybe something to say about. So if somebody's talking about the 4 best practices for losing weight going into the new year and you're a wellness coach, well, then you may want to repost that over to your blog feed or over to your Facebook feed or Twitter, and then add your 2 cents to it. Say, hey, the fifth best practice that I would add is this, or actually I agree with three of them, but disagree with the fourth. And here's what I would do instead. But now all of a sudden you're worried about creating 10 to 20% of the content in the spin. You're not worried about writing the 300, 400, 500 words or doing full interviews on your own yet.
Brilliant. And so now I'm going to ask you the second question that I was curious about, and that was, what interests you about podcasting for coaching? I love podcasting, so I'm really curious about your perspective on it.
I would imagine you do enjoy it. The podcasts and shows, even just like this one, it gives the audience a chance to really understand the personality of the host. And you've got so much that you can do with podcasting in terms of doing a very niche focused show on a specific topic, where you've got a structure that you follow and then ad lib off of, so that you can make sure that you're getting to the heart of what you want your audience to hear over and over and over again from a lot of different people that you connect with. What that does over time is two things. One, it builds your credibility because you're interviewing a lot of different people, whether it be success stories or other experts in your arena. And if you're the one hosting and interviewing them, then you're kind of the de facto expert as well. And then the second is that the way in which you interact with them, the way you add on to whatever it is that they have to say and share, it makes your personality known to your audience so that they can get to know you. They get to hear how you reframe things for them. And as a coach and therapist and consultant, that's really important, because at the end of the day, what our clients buy is us as people. It's great to have a system and a process, and we do need those things to make it more tangible. But at the end of the day, they do business with people they like. And doing podcasting is a great way to show off not just what you know, but also what your personality is.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've been spending time inside my mind. You're letting out all my secrets there.
I'm giving them away.
No, it's great. What do you see? Obviously, iPEC is such a, it doesn't get better than iPEC in my opinion when it comes to coaching. And
thank you.
What do you see as the biggest mistakes that coaches make when they get out there and try to put themselves out into the world?
The number one, quote unquote mistake is that they try to get it right. There is no secret formula. There's no magic blueprint. There is no silver bullet. And unfortunately, when a lot of coaches go to launch, that's when, frankly, their own inner self-talk and fears and doubts really start to press against them. And so they start thinking about, to do this, I've got to get it just right, or I've got to get it perfect. And then they start creating these excuses of, first it's the business card, then it's the website, then it's maybe the brochure, then it's maybe the package design. And they spend all this time trying to get it right and trying to build everything, and then they never start. And that's really the second thing, is that not only are they trying to get it right, is that they don't just dive in. And at the end of the day, I promote and coach people around, go out there and break some eggs, because that's how you're going to learn to make the omelet. And there's no exact right way to do it. So you've got to dive in, because where you begin is absolutely not where you're going to end in coaching. It really is a evolutionary process, not just for your clients, but as you grow as a coaching business owner, you're going to see your own likes and dislikes come out of it. You're going to know what you really enjoy and what are the things you thought you'd enjoy that you just don't. And that's going to evolve, but you don't learn any of that until you get going. And you don't get going if you're sitting on the sidelines waiting to try to get it right and figure out the perfect play.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say something to this effect. Say, how can I possibly start my coaching business when I haven't decided what shade of magenta, my logo should be?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that will take several years. So, right. I love what you're saying. Just get out there.
Exactly.
Just get out there and start doing it, and don't worry if everything is not perfect.
I absolutely love being able to, because having had so many coaches come through this program, I love sharing that when I went through iPEC's program, I'm not just the CEO, I'm also a client. I came through this program almost 10 years ago, and I love talking to people about the fact that my first client that I got about maybe halfway through the training program, I signed up by handing him my contact information written out on a napkin at a networking event, because I didn't have business cards. I didn't even have a company name at that point. but it was just giving him my contact information and handing it to him on a napkin, and he didn't care. All he cared about was the connection that we had and how I might be able to help him.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much for that. I'm curious as well, ask you about, especially because you have worked with so many coaches, what we talk about is sort of ninja tips or advanced strategies for people, let's say, who have started, they're out there, but they're not getting the kind of traction that they'd like to get.
Yeah. I think there's two things, because we already talked a little bit about creation in terms of curating and things like that, although there's some other things to add there. But in terms of ninja from a sharing standpoint, two things. One is ubiquity. And this is something that there's a couple of big experts that speak a lot about this in the industry right now. When you do, let's use the example of the podcast. If you do a podcast, then for those 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, however long it is, you've got a great audio recording. As soon as that audio recording is done, there's no reason why you can't record that and put it up on a video so that it's either got a slide deck with it or even just a couple of pictures or what have you. You can also get it transcribed and turn it into 3 or 4 or 5 different blog posts or related articles that you can then touch up and repurpose. So my mentioning that is that you can take one effort like a podcast like this and turn it into 5, 6, 7, 8 different pieces of content, some that are appropriate for video distribution, some that might be for audio, and some that might strictly be for the blog or guest blogging or otherwise. And that's a huge multiplier effect on your efforts. So to me, that's a huge thing. The other aspect that I would say, and this is something that we've been doing now for a while, is pay attention that when you start circulating your content, pay attention to what's working, paying attention to what's getting the best response, because you want to write more on those topics. So it's just it's a clue into what your market's got going for it. But also, when it comes to things like, Twitter and well, any of the social media, the feeds fill up so quickly. And if you post a blog one day, if you only post it one time, only the people that are online at that moment are going to see it in the feed. So you may need to repost certain things over and over and over again. And most of the time, it won't be the same people viewing it. So it's a different way to be able to get, to the ubiquity concept of, one effort paying off many times. And then once it's paid off many times, is recirculating that stuff, because you've got some great stuff. There's no reason why it should be shared only once.
That's great. And of course, if our goal is to get out there in the biggest way possible, not everyone is going to take in content in one way, right? Some people love to watch videos. Some people like to read. Spot on. Yeah.
It's giving people the content the way they like to consume it.
So I'm curious about for iPEC, this is sort of the funniest, craziest, most creative question, but I'll ask it in this way. What if there are any particular pieces of content that you've seen that stick out for you as being particularly effective over the years?
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe 2 things pop out. One is that, we used to share a lot of generally inspirational, motivational type stuff all the time, but it's only when we started attaching, whether it be those quotes or the headline to the blog, it's only when we started putting that in pictures, in images, that it really started to get shared more and liked more. So it's that combination of what you want to say and then matching it to certain pictures. So even just putting a quote and dropping it into a graphic of a wonderful landscape or a great picture that matches whatever the quote's about, people tend to notice that more. Their eyes are drawn to it more. So I know that's something that we changed probably about 2 years ago, and we've definitely seen a response from that. The other, honestly, is probably the biggest payoff when we get personal. It's not necessarily overly creative or crazy or anything like that, but the more that we tend to share really who we are, what we're going through, using the moments of our life and of our day to share some of those lessons, that's actually when we seem to get the most response, because people want that connection. They'd like to see that vulnerability, because that vulnerability gives them kind of courage to do it themselves. It's an openness that they themselves might like to have, and you're modeling it for them. So to me, it's really a lot of those personal stories. And I've shared blog posts and of different trials and tribulations that I've gone through in my life. I've shared stuff on social media about everything from just anything that's going on, or enjoying watching a great baseball game and what I saw transpire and what I experienced there, and sharing other times that going to daddy-daughter dances, especially as your daughters get older. Those types of things that are from the personal side of who you are, that's another aspect of people getting to know you. And that's even as a quote unquote big company like iPEC, it's the personal side of it that people want to connect with.
It's so great to hear you say that, because first and foremost, whenever I ask that question, I can't really remember anyone not answering the question essentially as something where they were vulnerable, something where they let in some information about themselves. But to hear you say that, as the CEO of iPEC, right? I mean, I think sometimes I hear people can get so, I can't be vulnerable. I'm the CEO of iPEC, right?
Exactly. It's a lot, it's what we do a lot of coaching around, not just with our graduates, but even with some of the leadership work we do in organizations, high-powered professionals and executives, as well as high-profile coaches. And when you start to attach yourself or buy into that image of what you're supposed to be, you stop being who you are. And that creates a disconnect for the people that want to connect with you. At the end of the day, like I said before, whether you're hiring a coach from a personal standpoint or you're investing in your education with an institute like ours, you want to have a connection to them. You want to believe in the vision they have, the mission they have. And the only way you're going to know that is if the people that are connected to it are being personal and saying, yeah, this is who I am, and here's the ups and downs of it, but here's what I'm striving for in terms of our mission and vision. And that's what I consider to be true north. And this is how I'm doing and trying to achieve it.
I'm going to ask you a question that is a little bit off script, but I'm really curious to hear your take on it, which is, it's a question that I get asked from, I don't get asked it, but I get asked it. It's implied in what people ask me from listeners, which is, I'm just starting. I have all these things that I should be doing, and I should be connecting with clients, and I'm still figuring out my coaching skills. Where does content, in the scheme of all the things I have to put together, how important is content in that? Where should I prioritize sharing content as I get going? And I know you said, don't get stuck, get going.
That's a great question. And I as great questions like that, I always tend to have the same beginning to my answer, which is, it depends.
Right.
It depends on how aggressive the coach, wants to be, because I know of coaches that come right out of our program and they use their time to gear up and literally launch with multiple levels of programs. So they've got the monthly membership, and they've got the group coaching, the one-on-one coaching, VIP stuff. This huge, big coaching platform. And when you're going to do that, content is really important because it frames the journey that your clients are going to go on. But from most new coaches, if I'm looking at the middle of the bell curve here, I'd say really the biggest thing, and it's I guess you could call it content, is know your one message. And it doesn't need to be overly profound. It doesn't need to be overly polished or overly slick. And it doesn't need to be turned into videos and audios and podcasts yet. But if you had to sum up the difference that you make for your clients, or the difference that you want to make for your clients in one sentence, what would it be? And I know for myself, I can even just share that for me, and this is from my own background, it's that good enough isn't good enough. Good enough stinks. We want great. And so all the work I've ever done, whether it be with individuals, with businesses, with executives, it's all about helping them look at, hey, you started down this path with such big dreams, and somewhere along the lines you started to settle, and you settled for good enough. What's that about? What are you giving up? What are you sacrificing? So anyway, I give that as an example, because when you know that one thing, when you know that one difference that you want to make for your clients, it's so easy for you to start adding the personal side of it, adding content to it, because you know who you are and what you stand for at your core. But you don't have to go down the path of writing the books and writing all the massive amount of content until you're ready for it. Just know your one thing to begin.
I love that. And of course, that is content, right? that
Exactly. It's the beginning of your content.
So please share with people who are who might not be familiar with iPEC, what you do and who it's for.
Yeah, absolutely. There's kind of, I guess you could say, a few aspects to iPEC. What we're known for in the industry is we are one of the largest, we are the leading accredited coach training organization, meaning those that are looking to get their certification in life, business, and executive coaching, they come to us because it's a fully accredited program. They graduate with their certification. And we also give them additional specialization in some assessment tools, show them how to use that to build their businesses, as well as actually provide business development programming as part of their education. So it's a very, very, very comprehensive program to get coaches out the door in about 7 to 8 months and really get them up and running and be masterful coaches as well as successful coaches. The other aspects are more around the professional and leadership development side of what it is that we do. So other than the on-site stuff we might do for organizations and healthcare networks and things like that, is that we have a 3-day experience, which is actually the beginning requirement of our coach training program that a lot of professionals and individuals and leaders take, because that weekend, that 3 days, not only gives them a basis in the communication and coaching skills, but it's about breaking good enough. So they start to get a picture of in their mind that if they looked at their last year, they can say, last year, that was the last year that and they figure out what it is that they want to leave behind. And now they can look at things and say, now this is the year that I finally, and then they can fill in that blank so that they recognize that through this 3-day experience, they can make that turn of what do they need to let go of and what is it that they are finally ready for. And so we've got various programs for the coach training as well as to that 3-day experience that people engage in.
And again, people go to ipeccoaching.com to learn more, right?
Yeah, ipeccoaching.com for those interested in coach training. And actually the website for the 3-day experience program is 3dayexperience.com.
Great. We'll put that on the show page as well. Luke Iorio, thank you for joining me, and thanks for sharing your words of wisdom with our listeners today. I really appreciate it.
You got it, Doug. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. So thanks, everyone, again. Remember, nothing you've heard here will make any difference unless you take action on it. So get out there and make it happen. Till next time, this is Doug Foresta at The Coach Singh Show.
Thank you for listening to The Coach Singh Show. Subscribe to us via iTunes, and please leave us a review. It helps us grow our awesome tribe. This show is brought to you by CoachSing.com's Speak to Publish book system. If your book is stuck in your head, we can help you get it out in just a dozen hours of your time. Go to CoachSing.com for more information. Have you joined the Coach Zingers community yet? You'll get exclusive access to private mastermind calls where you can get instant marketing help from industry experts. Plus, we'll help you forge deals and partnerships with other like-minded professionals. Go to CoachSing.com/community to join now.